Hello, everyone. This is Dr. Shiva Ayadure. It is 1 minute after 9:15 on Saturday. What date is today? The 12th. We're going to be starting shortly. We have Instagram coming up. Dylan, can you start Instagram? Hello, everyone in Instagram world. We're going to be having a talk today on why it's important for working people to unite and how we need to go beyond left and right. And we're going to really have a discussion about how it's really coming down to the deep state versus the people. And in the context of that, we're going to go really talk about our write-in campaign that we're conducting in Massachusetts and why that's important given the context of the discussion I've been having about election fraud that takes place. And it's essentially inherent in the entire voting system. But let's see who's signing in. Dylan, maybe you can tell me who's coming in. So whoever's coming in on Instagram, please let us know where you're coming in from. Hello, everyone. We have people coming in. We have typically people coming in from all over Massachusetts and the United States. Thank you, Martha Millett. Please let us know which town you're in or which Springfield. Great, we have people from Springfield, Massachusetts. And I'm looking down here. Who do we have?
We have Fresno, California.
Fresno, California. Hawaii. That's on Instagram. Carver, Massachusetts. Oklahoma. Great to have you from Texas. Boston. Excellent. Cincinnati. Fall River. Washington, D.C., Ohio, Braintree, Haverhill, Sarasota, Florida, Richie. Hey, Richie, Billerica. Excellent. We have people coming in from, it's really, really important. You know, we have people coming from all across the country, the United States, and to all of you outside of Massachusetts, outside of the country, invite all of your friends, if you know them in Massachusetts, friends and friends, to descend on these lives, because we're going to do them every day at 9 p.m. So those of you outside of Massachusetts, consider yourselves warriors, and we're basically going to surround, Massachusetts from outside in. Dylan here actually came all the way from Illinois to help the campaign, so everyone can help the campaign. As I've talked about, Massachusetts is really the epicenter of the deep state. There is a deep state, and the definition of the deep state is a military-industrial academic complex. It's the integration of big tech, big academia, and big pharma, who all wants to essentially enslave working people through the model of power, profit, and control. And that's what we're going to talk about today. It's something I've talked about, but we're going to go deeper in a very practical way, how everyone here can be part of this movement that we're going to escalate. And the wonderful piece about this is, we won this election by a landslide. And Charlie Baker, who's a quote unquote Republican governor of the Massachusetts GOP, who basically is completely pro-establishment, had to find a doofus, because they're actually in collaboration with the Democrats, a guy called Markey, who has no brand equity. And the reality is, because of the hard work of all the people in the movement, including all of you outside of Massachusetts and in Massachusetts, they had to run a doofus, a complete doofus. And it's actually, if you've heard of Dumb and Dumber, we have Doofus 1 and Doofus 2, two lawyers, and they do not want us as working people to have an opportunity to have participation of power in the affairs of state. But we're not going to let them get away. We're running in the general elections as a write-in candidate. And the anger of the election fraud that has taken place, we're not going to let them get away with it, because they panicked. And if they were smart, they would have done the election fraud in the general elections. But they pulled the trigger too fast, and this is what criminals do. They always make a mistake. They pulled it too fast, and now we're going to organize the next level of this movement to completely destroy them in the general elections through a write-in campaign. And what's wonderful about a write-in campaign is all the ballots have to be hand counted. As I've shared in the last 3 videos, you can go see them on part 1, part 2, part 3. We had Benny Smith, a great person who actually discovered how they manipulate the voting systems with Bev Harris. We basically fundamentally know that they can completely manipulate elections. So whatever results you see coming out of a voting system, it's all nonsense, because they can manipulate the elections and no one has voter ID. So whatever you see evidence of anything, quote unquote evidence of a prediction of who won, is actually not evidence, because all of it is subject to manipulation. And what we all want is open, transparency of what actually took place. And they don't want that openness. That's why all of these elections are designed to be fraudulent. We have people from Dorchester, Massachusetts, Rhino, not true Republicans. That's true. Our voting system is completely broken. Excellent. That's what we want to talk about. People are saying my video is buffering. As we've talked about, we actually posted a video before. Literally, Crystal Ellis, who's a great volunteer of our campaign, she sent me a video where you can actually see the scumbags at Facebook, the total scumbags. And by the way, we need to start using the right words to describe these people because they are not our friends. And you need to wake up, and we need to break ourselves from the brainwashing of how we should be diplomatic and politically correct. These people deserve none of that. The scumbags at Facebook, literally, when people try to like my posts, you literally can't like it. That's what they do. And we've caught them red-handed. And these are the people who claim that they care about Black people and poor people and working people, the idiots and the scumbags of people at Facebook. And by the way, to all the working engineers at Facebook, I ask you to boycott Facebook. I ask you to revolt against your own organization, because that's what we need, because we're going to start talking about the rights of working people. The engineers at Facebook, the engineers at Google, the engineers at YouTube and Twitter, you're basically slaves, whether you know it or not. So stop having so much loyalty to your own management and to your board, because they basically are against you and they're against what this country is about. So we need to start creating a union, a revolutionary union of working people in this country to start revolting against a 0.001%. Yes, we do need a revolution, and the revolution needs to occur with the right political theory, which is what we're going to go over today. Someone said, what about the 3,000 plus missing votes from Franklin? That's where we voted. Interesting. We still don't have results from Franklin. Everyone needs to wake up to understand, which is going to be the theme of this talk about today, is that it's them, the people who do not work, against us, the working people. That's the theme. And it's time we get over this complete BS about Black people and white people, the BLM versus the people who want to support the police. They create the black-white narrative. It's not left and right, and screw this thing about Republican and Democrat. There's only one true division, and that division is people who work against the establishment who wants to emasculate, destroy us, take away our rights. That's what this is really about. And the sooner we get that clear, the sooner we're going to have our liberation. And the sooner we don't get that clear, everyone's going to be in darkness. Well, what happened to me? How did this happen? And you're going to get all demoralized and depressed. So what I'm offering all of this movement today, and that's why our movements become so powerful, because I'm awakening you back to the truth that you already know, that we're all one people. And our real enemy is the establishment. So before I go there, let me first of all invite all of the people all over, wherever you are, to recognize that Massachusetts is the center of the deep state. So whether you're in New Zealand, whether you're in Australia, whether you're in, California or Hawaii, wherever you are, you must join your brothers and sisters right here in Massachusetts to make sure that we destroy the establishment, because the center of the establishment is right here. They're the ones that literally figure out how to manipulate us, how to figure out new ways of control. So we're going to talk about why they're doing this, and what the real division is between not only working people and the establishment, but it's about fundamentally between being a human and becoming, whether we're going to become robots. That's what this is about. They want all of us to be mechanized robots. So before I get into the talk, I want to invite everyone, first of all, to know that we are running as a write-in candidate. And in fact, the reality is, when you run as a write-in candidate, which means you write in your name on the election, there's a space called write-in, Shiva Ayyadurai. That is actually a way where they are forced to count our ballots by hand, versus voting, where you circle for doofus 1 or doofus 2. I'm running against two doofuses now. Doofus 1, a lawyer, and doofus 2, another lawyer. So here you have one of us running against two doofuses. I don't care if they have their R or the D next to them. It's two doofuses against us, working people. That's what this election's about. So we want to encourage everyone to, first of all, to know we're running in the November 3rd general elections, but you can vote before that, because there's going to be this stupid mail-in ballots. There's going to be early voting. And if you want to sit at home, great, but make sure you write in Shiva Ayyadurai. You have to write in, and you have to let everyone know that Dr. Shiva and all of the volunteers and people in Massachusetts, we're not taking down our lawn signs. We're not taking down our big signs. In fact, we have 300, 400 more requests for lawn signs. We're escalating this campaign. And that's the attitude we need for everyone, which is to escalate, escalate, escalate. We don't care what they do. We're going to continue exposing their corruption and escalating. So to remind everyone, we have the updated website. Let me just take you everywhere, to everyone there. It's shivaforsenate.com, Shiva for Senate. You can, various things I always want to review on the website. First of all, donations are open. Whether you give $1, $2, whatever you can give, please support the campaign, because we're going to renew this campaign to escalate it, where we're going to get more TV ads, more billboards, but more importantly, we're going to put it down back into our volunteers. We want to make sure they get the proper gear, the proper signs. We're going to go direct to people. Those people who want to donate, you can click on the donate link right here. And remember, as I've said over and over again, I don't like taking stuff from people without giving you something. When people donate to our campaign, they get the book System and Revolution. As you know, that book will really give you, in the 108 pages, a profound understanding of systems from an engineering level, but it's made accessible. It's not highfalutin. I've taken the 50 years of knowledge and made it accessible to you. So you start really understanding what is a system and what is revolution. In a previous video I shared with you, I've spent a lot of time studying what is revolution, what is change. I've studied Marx, I've studied the works of Che Guevara, I've studied the works of Thomas Paine, studied the works of Lenin, studied the works of George Washington and Lincoln. I go across the board, left and right, to understand what these guys said. What I realize is the difference that you find out from true revolutions is where they come bottoms up. A lot of the mistakes that were made by revolutionaries, be it Marx or Che, or be it others, were that they try to think that a small singular group of people top down could do it. And I've shared the positive things, some of the observations some of these people made, but also the negative things. And so I've taken a scientific approach, which comes out in that book, so we don't make the same mistakes again. The theory of that book then is manifested where you can actually start participating in understanding your body as a system, not to just stop there, but you can actually use this tool. And by the way, people outside of the United States can also get access to all the same features, and you're welcome to take advantage of. People have asked, is you can directly go to Your Body, Your System, yourbodyyoursystem.com. But fundamentally, the tool, by the way, those of you outside of the United States can literally go and order the book and the tool right here from Your Body, Your System. Those of you who want to support the campaign, you have to be in the United States. You can go to Shiva for Senate. But the tool is not just about how to get healthy, but it helps you understand the physics of systems. And those physics are also relevant to your body. So you can understand through a set of questions, what are the forces of transport, conversion, and storage in your body? And that's denoted by the red dot. Then you can answer a different set of questions to figure out how your body is disturbed from where it wants to be, which is a red dot, and the disturbance is a black dot. And obviously you want to get back on course, and you can figure out how you can manipulate your body through the right foods, the right supplements, and the right exercise to bring you back to you. But the real understanding is that the body, which is a system, your computer, which is a system, your society, which is a system, has a place where it wants to be. In the case of a political system or a society, it's truth, freedom, and health. The black dot, in many ways, is power, profit, and control. And our goal is, do we want to bring it back to where it naturally wants to be, which is what the majority of people want, which is truth, freedom, and health. So that's what the same model is. And with the right inputs, we can bring it back into that. And what are those right inputs? Well, those right inputs are truth, freedom, and health. How do we fight for freedom? Well, we need digital rights. How do we fight for truth? We need to make sure big academia is brought back into line and we destroy them. And then health is really brought back into line by each of us taking responsibility for our health and having a direct connection with our healthcare practitioner. So this concept of where your system likes to be, how it's deviated, and how you bring it back into alignment is the foundations of systems thinking. And that's what I've attempted to do here. So I want all of you, if you can't be in Massachusetts, support the campaign by going here, donating whatever you want and supporting this movement. Okay. If you donate $25, you get the tool and you get access. Those of you who know friends in Massachusetts Those of you who are in Massachusetts, you can simply go to say, I'm going to vote for Shiva for Senate. And we want everyone to start pledging to vote for us, because this way we can start tracking who is voting for us, right? And we can keep a track on that, who is voting for us. And then we can make sure you start getting SMS messages. So you can give us your mobile number, your zip code, so we know what town or city you're in Massachusetts, and your first name, last name, if you want to do that. But this is a way we can start communicating over the next 30 days. We don't even have 30 days, because early voting starts as early as October 17th. The mail-in ballots are going to start going out October 1. So we need to start hitting the ground hard. So we are running a revolutionary movement here. It's an awesome opportunity wherever you are to participate. And we're doing as a write-in. So when you get the ballot, you can literally write in your name on the ballot. I mean, write in my name, Shiva Ayyadurai, on the ballot. And that way, it's much more harder for them to cheat, because they have to hand count it. And as I mentioned yesterday, in the one county where they couldn't cheat on us, 70% of the votes in that county were all hand counted. Okay. So that's the background of what's going on with the campaign. So you can donate, you can write in, you can also volunteer. What I also want to share with you is, many of you know that when it comes to health, starting in March, I put out some very powerful videos on explaining people how we have to boost the immune system. What the establishment wants us to do, they want us to wait for the vaccine, the vaccine, the vaccine. That's what they're pushing. That's what Fauci wants. That's what the deep state wants. That's what Bill Gates wants. That's what Robert F. Kennedy Jr. wants, because he's in cahoots with Hillary Clinton, who wants vaccine or safe vaccines. That's their new angle. But the bottom line is, health comes from recognizing each of our bodies is a unique system. The molecular mechanisms in our body need to be fed a combination of the right foods. And based on that, you can boost the immune system. We're in September, you're heading into October, November, quote unquote, flu season. In Massachusetts, they want to force vaccinate all our young kids through a mandatory flu shot, and kids meaning all the way up to the age of 30. Again, another form of control. Our basis here is we need to boost immunity. And, over the last, starting in March, I did a bunch, as a public service, a bunch of videos. They're all out there. You can go to truthfreedomhealth.com. Vitamin D3, we talked about it as early as March. Even, very frankly, grifters, who I used to have a lot of respect for, Scott Adams, no more. He said, oh, what is this vitamin bullshit? Scott Adams, now he's embracing vitamins. Why? Because his followers were leaving him. He's an opportunist. Sorry, Scott, that's what you are. You had me on your show. I got you a lot of viewers, but you attack me. You don't know shit about biological sciences. I have a PhD, and your friend, he thinks Bill Gates is a great guy. So Scott, you got to confess what you did, or you're basically part of the problem. And the bottom line is, we need to start listening to people who don't have a horse in the race, who are not about getting views, who are about telling the truth. And the truth is that we need to focus on boosting immunity. And that comes with you taking responsibility for your health. So one of the things I wanted to enlighten you on is, just to educate you, and I'll come back to this, is that many of you can also go to the website. Let me bring this up here. Share. If you guys can see this, you can go to the website, vs.Shiva.com. That's my personal website. And on that site, you can see, the history of my invention of email, to what we're doing with the campaign. But one of the cool things on there is CytoSolve, which is a technology that came out of my PhD work, where we're really looking at a profoundly different way of eliminating animal testing and the very complex process that the deep state big pharma does to kill animals and to test on humans. And then they come up with drugs which really don't help a lot of us. And what we know is the pharmaceutical companies are actually losing money, okay? They spend more and more and more on R&D, and they're finding less and less new drugs that are safe. So what they're doing is they have to move into vaccines. So as I talked about, one of the profound changes that occurred in biology was to start recognizing we need to consider the whole human being. It's not just the genes. And as a part of that, many of you know, in 2003, I went back to MIT and I took on a grand challenge of figuring how to mathematically model the human cell on the computer, where you start connecting all these molecular reactions using a technology that I created called CytoSolve. And CytoSolve really allows us to put the pieces together across any type of disease. And that's the platform that I've created. I'll come back and talk more about that. You can see that. But one of the cool things we're able to do is we're able to take all the literature in a field, not cherry pick stuff, bring it together, figure out the molecular reactions, connect them together, and really model complex diseases. So just like we build airplanes, we do all of it on the computer. We just don't kill poor pilots. Cytosolve allows us to do the same thing. Now, one of the cool things is, in traditional systems of medicine, if you had a particular problem, your healthcare practitioner would figure out what the right combination of medicines were right for you, the right medicine for the right person at the right time. So one of the cool things we're doing here with Cytosolve, for example, we can look at what is the right combination of spices you need for you. So here, some of you may know curcumin is a very powerful ingredient which lowers inflammation. With Cytosolve, we've modeled all the molecular reactions of inflammation, and then we can figure out how much of that ingredient, let's say curcumin, you need, which is a very powerful ingredient for lowering inflammation. Similarly, we know resveratrol is a powerful ingredient for lowering inflammation. But with Cytosolve, we can figure out how much to combine, and we can literally run mathematical experiments. And here what you're seeing is I'm reproducing inflammation mathematically, which is that value on the far right, 0.15. Then I just give curcumin, you see it goes down. Then I just give resveratrol, it goes down. And then I can see what happens when I combine them together. A little bit of resveratrol, a little bit of curcumin, I can figure out how to really lower it. That's called a synergistic combination, which is what food does. So one of the recent things that, as you know, I've talked about of our campaign is we need open science, which means academia cherry picks information. And about a week ago, we tweeted it out, but I just want to share with everyone one of the cool things that we did was we actually, over the last 2 years, we did a research project with the University Health Network of all of Canada. And we literally went through every paper written in the literature about arthritis, osteoarthritis. As you age or if you work out, your body can actually start having cartilage degeneration, osteoarthritis. And this is almost 20,000 research papers. We figured out what's in them. We extract out the molecular pathways, and we've essentially published the first molecular systems map of osteoarthritis. Now, instead of keeping it just for ourselves, we're giving it away to the world, freely accessible. And I just want to let you know that this tool is out there. I'll do a whole series on this because I'm catching up with a lot of you on the different things I've been doing. You can literally go, and I'll show it to you. It's called, here it is. The name of the site is cytosolve.com/human knee osteoarthritis. And it's free, no cost. The big academia are very upset we're doing this because they want, or the big pharma guys. And what you see here, it's called the Molecular Systems Architecture of Knee Osteoarthritis. And what you can see, let me see if it's up here. Oops. Let me make sure we're sharing it here so everyone can see it. On there, you can see it here. And what we're doing here is you can click on this link and we can literally go in, and it really works only on the desktop right now. So cytosolve.com/human-knee/osteoarthritis. And what you can do here is you can literally go and you can actually look at the entire human knee from a molecular system standpoint. And to give you an idea, what you can do with this tool, which is available, let me go back here. Oops, where did I go here? Let me bring it up again. Sorry about that. Let me bring it up. I lost it right here. 1 second. Okay. So here we go. I gotta go back here. All right, here we go. So let's see here. I have to, sorry, there we go. All right, let me share the screen here. All right, there we go. Okay, so if you go to this site, when you click on the far right piece here, you can literally go in and you can literally look at different parts of the knee, and you can see how the different tissues, the different cells, and you can in fact start looking at different ingredients. So if I click on cartilage, cartilage has the cell called chondrocytes. And when you go into the chondrocytes, you can start looking at the different ligands. And then, for example, the ligands are the different structures that can land on the knee cell. So if I go to cytokines, you can find different kinds of cytokines. One of them is called IL-1 beta. And we can see here is IL-1 beta. And by the way, we've mapped out every molecular reaction. MMPP13, again, this is only one molecule that gets upregulated when your knee is starting to get degenerated. And you can literally go and then you can figure out every molecular pathway that's in between IL-1 beta and MMP13. And that's what you're seeing here. And what you notice here is ginseng is something that actually stops cartilage degeneration. It takes you to that paper. So it's quite cool because you can literally go through thousands of papers in a very pictorial way. But more importantly, you can literally start understanding how the molecular functions of the knee are at a very minute level. And you can actually see documented evidence of maybe which ingredients can help you. And we've made this as an open science. And also it's a citizen science project. So if you see something's wrong in there, you can actually send us feedback and be part of this. Anyway, so that's the update that I wanted to share with you of what we've been up to. All right. I hope that helps everyone. And hopefully people are getting excited because this is a very powerful way. Korean ginseng is good. People are asking, this is amazing. Yeah. So we're making this available to all people. Maybe you want to have Jen just join us so she can help. Yes, it is quite amazing. So our campaign, as you know, has truth, freedom, and health. Without freedom, we can't get to truth. Without truth, we can't have health. Without health, we can't fight for freedom. So what I want to talk about today in this context is what I just shared with you is separate from running for US Senate. I work still as a full-time scientist, as an innovator. I run a bunch of companies. We have people who work with us, and we still continue to do research. That research work I shared with you is something I've been doing parallel with the other 125% of my time while running for Senate, okay? These other scumbag lawyers don't do any work. They hate us as working people. So what I want to talk about is the theme of our campaign is working people unite. Working people unite beyond black and white, beyond left and right, truth, freedom, and health. So let's repeat that. Working people unite. What does that mean? Which means working people, which means those of us who get up in the morning, have a skill. If you're a mother, you're working, you're taking care of your kids. If you're a plumber, you're an electrician, you're a landscaper, you're a scientist, you're an engineer, you're a small business owner, we work. The people who don't work are the people who simply move around money, or people like the lawyers who just move around contracts all day, or the set of people who the establishment now does not want to work. They want to give them stimulus checks. They want them to be on welfare. They don't want them to work. So why is this happening? Why is this happening? And when you really go down to the depths of this, what you will realize is this world is becoming too expensive for the elites to run. So let's talk about that. If you go back to the foundations of monopoly capitalism, not true capitalism, right? True market forces, it's about consolidation of wealth, lowering your expenses, and maximizing profit. So when you go back to then, you go someone like Henry Ford. What did Henry Ford actually create? What did Henry Ford actually create? Anyone know? What did Henry Ford create? Henry Ford did not create the car. He created the assembly line. And what I'm going to argue with you today is that AI, everyone talks about AI. AI has been around since probably the 20s or the 30s. And since the 1800s, the late 1800s, the day that we created the assembly line, that let's say you wanted to manufacture a car, and you said, okay, you put on the wheels, you put on the axle, you put in the engine, you put on the wiper blades. We took human beings, which are capable of doing a lot of creative activity, a lot of innovative work, and we said, you start behaving like a machine. You just put the wheel on all day, okay? Or you just put the upholstery on, okay, etc. The day that we did that, we created AI. What is AI? AI doesn't mean you need to have a silicon-based creature that's walking around like a robot. AI begins the day that what is AI? AI is artificial intelligence, which means you're programming human algorithms or algorithms into a creature to have it follow a set of instructions. Do A, then do B, then do C. That's what they call intelligence, artificial intelligence. Well, if you have a human being simply do the same thing over and this human being doing the same thing over, that is artificial intelligence. And so AI has been around since the day we created the assembly line. So those in power profit when they no longer are you a human, which is innovative and creative, coming up with ideas, being rebellious, being a small business owner, being entrepreneurial. But when you fall in line and you do a set of things over and over and over again for their benefit. So that is what the elites want. And so now as transistors came starting in the 50s and 60s, as we started building computers, they said, we could basically take human beings. Do we need human beings, or could I create a robot? And in that robot, and that's what happened in manufacturing lines, right? They replaced the person putting the wheels to a machine made out of metal and silicon to do that, okay? But here's a conundrum that they're having. The elites are having an interesting conundrum. Wow, let's say I could make a robot that could do everything someone could do. What's the cost of that robot going to be? Is the cost of that robot going to be perhaps more because someone's got to maintain those robots versus me just abusing a human being, a carbon-based being versus a silicon-based being? The goal is, do you want to abuse a silicon-based being, a carbon-based being, which is a human, or do you want to just exploit a robot, but there could be more expensive? So that's what they're at. In China, they've decided to just exploit the hell out of human beings. They have cancer cities where they have their people basically working day and night, and they throw them away, okay? So that's the AI of using carbon-based beings. And so what's happening right now is the elites are recognizing, wow, we got all these 7.2 billion people. Oh my God, sometimes they protest, sometimes they get angry, sometimes they want to organize against us. Why do we even need them? Why do we need these rebellious human beings? Wouldn't it be cheaper for us if we just had robots? So remember, what is profit? Profit is the revenue you get from selling a product minus the expenses, and you get profit. Well, the goal is you want to lower those expenses from the monopoly capitalist standpoint. Lower those expenses as much as you can, because if you can do that, you can have more profit. So how do you lower expenses? Well, either you pay people nothing, slave wages, you tax the hell out of them, or maybe even replace them with a robot. So the robot here could be a metal machine made out of metal and graphite and silicone, or it could be you, okay? It could be you. It could be a compliant human being. Yes, I will wear masks. Yes, force vaccinate me. Yes, I will support the lockdowns. Yes, I will support school lockdowns and so on, okay? Yes, carbon tax me. Yes, the world is going to end. Fear mongering and control. So you become a robot. And when you become compliant, they may say, well, this is actually cheaper. I don't have to build a robot. I've made these carbon-based beings robots. I hope you're understanding what I'm saying. This is quite a profound realization that I had, because what I realized was we've always had AI for at least 100 years. And the goal is the elites want to decide, well, they want to have a choice. And so that's why what we're witnessing right before our eyes is about power, profit, and control. It's the deep state of power, profit, and control versus the people. That's what this is all about. So I want you to stop getting all dramatic and into this bullshit, fight about Black Lives Matter versus the people who want to stop defunding the police. Okay, that's not what it is. It's again black and white. It's left and right, Republican and Democrat. That's what they want to get you caught in. When the real us and them is working people. And by working people, again, I define it as people with skills, people who solve problems, a mother or a small business owner, people who are creative, people who are rebellious, versus them, okay? The people who want to control us. And that is the deep state of power, profit, and control. And that is the fight of 2020. So here you have someone like me, all of our volunteers, working people who busted their buns. We were out there every day. We did hundreds of standouts, put thousands of lawn signs in. People like Jeremy Tobin, people like, Jerry Payne, were out there every day fighting, okay? They used to have their work, and then they supported our campaign. And we literally, we know we won by a landslide. At least we got 200,000 votes when you work out the numbers. The doofus that Charlie Baker, who's a Republican governor, him and the Democrat senator in cahoots. They actually want to force vaccinate us, definitely. They want to continue lockdowns. They want us all wearing masks. They want more school lockdowns. All of this is about power, profit, and control. They could not have us win that election, so they cheated. And they can cheat because the voting system is completely rigged, as I've shared in the last 3 videos. So this is not about black or white. This is not about left or right. This is about, and it's not about Republican versus Democrat. Maybe it's lowercase r and the lowercase d's, which is us working people against them. So I want people to go to Shiva for Senate as you're looking at this, support the campaign, volunteer, and start pledging. I want everyone right now, as you're thinking about this, just a quick break here. I want everyone to go to the campaign website, which I'll go right here for you. Let me go right to it right here. I want everyone to go to shivaforsenate.com, and all of you who know friends in Massachusetts, SMS them right now, and you can tell them to go to shivaforsenate.com/vote and to pledge their vote to us right now, because we want to get those people's mobile numbers and their zip so we can start communicating with them to tell them when to vote, how to write in our name. So that's what you can do. Go to shivaforsenate.com/vote. We also want volunteers. So those of you, whether you're out of state, in state, we need people to make phone calls. We need people to help us on the ground, start collecting pledges. So you can literally go to shivaforsenate.com/volunteer, and you can volunteer for the campaign. All right. That's another level of commitment. We have amazing time, by the way. When you volunteer, it's really you're part of becoming part of a very cool set of people. You find people, like-minded in the sense these are revolutionaries, very thoughtful people with a lot of heart and love. You get to connect so you don't feel like you're alone in this world. So go to shivaforsenate.com, volunteer. And obviously those of you who can't volunteer or don't want to pledge, you're welcome to just support the campaign by giving. Some people it's easier, frankly, to give us money, and that's great too. We raised close to $750,000, and we plowed that all into advertising. And you can just go here and donate to the campaign. If you do that, you get an amazing book. You get to start learning about your body as a system. So those are the ways that everyone can help here and now. So getting back, the foundation here is working people must unite. And what we want to give everyone the opportunity to realize is in Massachusetts, which is the center of the deep state. And why do I say that? Massachusetts was rated the top 10 most corrupt states in the United States, has the worst infrastructure, an F-, crumbling bridges, crumbling roads, right? Crumbling water systems in the midst of where MIT is. It's quite horrible. And what we have in Massachusetts is a center of deep state corruption. They stole a federal election from all of us, not just me, from you and me. And that's why we're running as a write-in, because it's much, much harder for them because all the ballots will be hand counted. So tell all of your friends that the Shiva for Senate campaign is escalating and moving forward on. By November 3rd, people should start writing in and pledging for our campaign. That's what the order of the day is. And I can't implore everyone, you got to get off your butts, guys. This is the time to act. We have a lot of people who say, Dr. Shiva, I love your videos. I love what you're doing, but I need you to start acting. We have thousands of volunteers who come. We only have less than 30 days and mail-in ballots start coming. Yeah, the election is November 3rd. Mike Bush, one of our volunteers, said, Shiva, it's not November 3rd. We had our big volunteer meeting where hundreds of volunteers showed up between yesterday and today, ready to fight. And Mike said, we need to make sure people recognize that the mail-in ballots are going out, early voting's happening. So we need people now, have a sense of urgency. Tell all your friends to write in Shiva Ayyadurai. Let me just type this out there so you see it in the comments. People can write in on the ballots, they can put in the word Shiva, which is my first name, Shiva, and the last name, Ayyadurai. They have to write in that name in the write-in section. That's what we need. And then take a picture of your ballot and save it for documentation. Because remember, these guys throw out the ballot images, which is, by the way, illegal. So that's what we need people to do. We need people to recognize this is a working people against them. And so it's the state versus the people, because if you look at what they want to do to us, they want to force vaccinate us. That's the state, top-down medicine. They want to do more lockdowns, top-down, to shut down small businesses. They'll keep Amazon going, they'll keep Walmart going, they'll keep Costco going, but not small businesses. They want to cause more school lockdowns. A lot of working people can't afford to stay at home. They got to work. The super wealthy people, they have choice, right? They can hire a nanny, they can hire a tutor, they can do, all sorts of things, but working people don't have that choice. And then the other thing they want to do is they want to scare the Jesus out of us, or the Jesus out of us, thinking that the fear mongering again, that the world is going to end with quote unquote climate change. And the reality, CO2 is not a pollutant. Pollution is a pollutant like lead and sulfur dioxide, which the Green New Deal and the Paris Accords allows China to pollute 2 times or more pollution. So they always distract us. They distract us to vaccines. They distract us to lies that the world is going to end. And at the end of the day, all of this is about taxing working people. At the end of the day, the working people, people like us, 2 things they do, or both at the same time. Either they enslave us more by reducing our freedoms, or they tax us. In Massachusetts, you said in Michigan, in Illinois, they've already done that, right?
Right.
It's called the Transport Climate Initiative, TCI, which is basically the increase of gas tax by 50 cents. This is not about us. This is not about saving the environment. This is about the fact that they run corrupt states. They're destroying the states. They need to take another pound of flesh from us. That's what this is about. And this campaign and the movement for truth, freedom, and health is exposing that. That's why, my phone is hacked. I mean, this is quite extraordinary. I can't use both my cell phones. And this started happening 5 days ago when I started exposing election fraud. I never thought we'd get to that. And this is the God's honest truth. We go to Verizon, and the Verizon rep says, I've never seen this before. Your phone is hacked. And he pulls me aside. He goes, Verizon works with the government. He gets on the phone with Verizon reps at the Verizon store. And what do they say? They said, we've never seen this error before. We're waiting for an hour, they get cut. So when real dangerous political theory comes out, where we start really exposing the real stuff, and the real stuff that we're starting to expose is they will go to any extent to, stop a real movement. But they're not stopping it, because what's happening is we're going to do a write-in campaign right now. And we're exposing their election fraud. And I can tell you this, I exposed Monsanto many years ago with my scientific research. People said, Shiva, you got to be scared. There's a lot of black ops type people. And I didn't take it seriously. Then when I started doing all the videos exposing Big Pharma, I had so many calls from people saying, Shiva, you better get security. I said, okay, that's interesting, because I, again, didn't take it that seriously. But when I started exposing election fraud, for the first time, I am concerned, because my phones go out when we start seeing our key volunteers, communications, things starting to be garbled. This is when we know that we're hitting on something very profound, that the foundations of this democracy is built on a false election system. They can manipulate the election. They can multiply our votes. They save the data as a floating point variable, as I talked about. So we don't have democracy. We are truly slaves. And they want to enslave the working people. They don't care about the people who don't work. They're going to just give them stimulus checks all day. They'll keep them like rats in a cage, right? Just keep giving them food, and the rat will in a lovely way want to stay in its cage. But we working people, we still have ethics. We still have a sense of solidarity. We still have a sense of freedom. And the super elites, they one rule for them and another rule for us. That's why today's talk is really about, it's a people versus a deep state. This election in Massachusetts, we're moving forward with a write-in campaign. This is our process between now and November 3rd. And we need everyone to get on board. So again, I can't overemphasize. Yeah, Michelle, you want to join us?
Sure.
Come on, Michelle has a few statements to make. Michelle, why don't you tell people how you actually feel? Go ahead, Michelle, take over.
Well, I was telling Shiva that we've had a bunch of events past couple of days, and I just being around like-minded people and talking about this, the election being stolen from us. And it's just, I have so much righteous anger. And it's really been bubbling up the past couple of days. So I'm ready to just get out there and let people know that you're still running, and let them know that we're doing a
And
write-in
you were telling
campaign.
what you want from people,
Right. I mean, if
you can just be frank, Michelle. People here, go ahead. Yeah. And
Well,
Michelle, by the way, was never political. Go ahead.
no, I was never political. I was never involved with politics or campaigns or anything like that before. But really, it's about just getting involved. Get over it. Get involved. You want change? You need to get involved. That's it.
People say, love you, Michelle. Yeah.
That's awfully nice.
Well, I think, Michelle, you were being a little more direct. I think why don't you be direct with people? What you want people to do?
What I want them to do? I don't remember exactly what I was saying.
Well, you were sharing, look, here's the bottom line, everyone, that many of you know I put a lot of time, we have our volunteers who put a lot of time, all of you put a lot of time in really wanting to help, the campaign, right? You come on these lives, you get very excited, but what we need now is massive, massive, explosive action.
Yeah, people just need to do the work.
Yeah, and we have a great volunteer, Keith Duplay. Keith was out there, stop signs, holding stand-ups. But what Keith did was he would interact with people face to face. And in spite of the nonsense they pulled, they couldn't screw our elections in places like Athol, okay? Yeah. Because even if they multiplied it by 0.40, right, okay, which is probably what or 0.5, we had so many votes, they couldn't screw us there.
Exactly.
But the point is, getting back to this notion of being a human being. Look, these devices are interesting, but we need people on the ground. We need people who are outside of Mass starting to get on the phones with Dr. Venu and calling people. We need us to reconnect as human beings because they can't stop us there. Yeah. They can, I'm hearing a lot of things where people are buffering. Look, if someone's writing to me, assholes like Mark Zuckerberg, those are the words I can only use for them. It's what comes out naturally. The really scumbags at Google who own our platforms, right? They can buffer me. They can shut us down. We used to have, close to 3,000 people. We know that Facebook is not allowing likes, okay? So our only alternative is to go on the ground. Pick up the old-fashioned hardwire phone. Go talk to people. We need people to start pledging to vote for us before November 3rd. Right. And that means start talking to people. Open up your mouths. Get out of this thing, well, I'm shy. No, we don't have time if you're shy.
Bad things happen when good people sit by and let them happen. People have to get involved. If you want change, you have to be part of the change. I talk to so many people, oh, well, I want to volunteer. Well, what does that entail? And what do I do? It's like, just get out there. Talk to people. Tell them about Dr.SHIVA.
Yeah, so the great news is we have thousands of volunteers who came to our campaign. People worked hard. Our labor was stolen. Forget money and all that. But remember, labor precedes money. It is labor, our work, that created everything around us. And what these really bad people did was they stole our labor, our sweat, and the righteous anger is what we need. And we need to explosively now get on the ground, meet as many people as you can. And those people are outside of Massachusetts. If you want to get on Facebook and you find someone, hey, I love Dr.SHIVA, tell them I'm in Massachusetts. Tell them to get out there.
Or come to Massachusetts and get involved.
Yeah, this guy right here.
We have people that come in all the time.
Yeah, we'll put you up.
Come in. Yeah, get involved.
Yeah, I have a building, we have space, we'll put you up. Dylan will tell you that, okay? But the bottom line is we have built a revolutionary movement here. 2020 is going to be about people acting. And what the establishment wants you to do is to get all depressed. Oh, they're so big and they can do this. No, they can't. Yeah. They're actually quite incompetent. Yeah. The way they survive is by our lack of activism. And that's what we need. We need people to get on the ground and start talking and becoming human. Yeah. They want to make us subhuman. They want to make us robots because that's what this is about. This is about destroying working people. So 2020 is going to be about, are we going to be free people or are we going to be slaves? It's pretty much it. And it's your choice. Our campaign is going to move forward, but this campaign affords you an opportunity to rise up and be a human being. And so it's up to you. Get on the ground.
And it's a lot of fun.
We have a ton of fun.
It's a lot of fun. It's work, but it's a lot of fun. I mean, you just get over the fear of going and talking to people. And then once you start doing it, I mean, I collected probably, I don't know, 3,000 signatures to get Shiva on the ballot. That's a lot
And
of
Michelle works full
signatures.
time.
I work full time.
Michelle works full time.
I work full time.
You know, I'm not gonna, you know, in confidentiality, she does a very intense job where
Yep.
she's got to be doing it all day long. And then for every 1 to 2 hours a day, Michelle would go to the shopping centers,
Mhm.
hand out cards, and collect pledges. That's what we need.
Yeah.
And that's what we need to teach our kids. We have a lot of kids who have no idea of what hard work means anymore. You know, they're entitled, and you as individuals who work we have an opportunity to set an example for them. Young people out there like Dylan and others are looking for hope.
Mhm.
They actually want leadership. Dylan, you want to say anything? Come on. Okay. I mean, Dylan will tell you that he literally got in his car because he had basically felt that there was really what this campaign offered him was something, a mission, something to work hard on.
Right.
And so we have people every day working hard. So those of you, if you have work, if you're a mother, it's awesome. But take a little bit out of your day to go connect with another human being and get them to pledge to vote on by November 3rd as a write-in. So what we want people to do, the exact thing we want people to do is you can go to Shiva for Senate. Let me go right here. And everyone on who's listening can literally get your friends. Hold on.
Actually, can I say something?
Yeah, come on over.
Yeah.
Go ahead, Dylan. Let me just
All right. Hi, everyone. You know, I talk a lot about
look over there. Yeah.
these you know, these crazy times with my friends and family, and
why don't you tell people where you came from, who you are?
yeah. So I come from a small town in Illinois, and I'm in the northwest suburbs. But you know, I read a lot about this stuff, and it causes me you know, a lot of stress at night. And I talk to my, you know, like I said, to my friends and family about this. And you know, there's nothing really going on around me, but there's this campaign going on across the country, 1,000 miles away, and you know, that's just a once in a lifetime opportunity. You know, I'm in the here and now, and so I can't be complaining about this. You know, like a year from now, because if I missed it, then you know, it's over in the past. But now I've met plenty of good people. You know, I've had great times out here. But you know, I'm here in the moment, you know, living for the moment and also for the future, because I don't want to see people suffer, you know, just out of these huge burdens that are being placed on us. So, you know, we have to start speaking up and acting. You know, I made the journey, so you know, I don't see why, you know, some of you guys couldn't. And especially when you're at home, you can just pick up your phone and make phone calls. We have a really great system. You know, it's just you know, one after the other. So
yeah, what Dylan's saying is we have a system that's set up that, by the way, you can go to the site shivaforsenate.com/volunteer if you're outside of the United States, and you can join a whole community of people outside of the Massachusetts where you can literally from home on your iPhone help make phone calls to us. Dylan was doing that. We have people all from Texas and Hawaii, everyone making phone calls. That's one to get people to say, yes, I'm going to pledge to vote as a write-in. Let's not eliminate the word vote because the whole voting system is garbage right now, okay? Frankly. But we're going to write in Dr. Shiva. They're going to write in my name. It's very hard for them to steal that. And the way people can do that is if people just want to go to Shiva for Senate, I'm going to go right there, right here. And if you can go right to the homepage on Shiva for Senate, what the goal is, everyone out there, call up your friends in Massachusetts, say, go to Shiva for Senate, click on I'm going to vote for Shiva, and they fill out I pledge to vote. And we want them to give us their mobile number because we can SMS them. Our volunteers will keep in touch with them, make sure when voting date's coming out, they can give us their zip code so we know what town they're in. We can connect them with local volunteers and the first name and last name. Okay? So you can go right to this page. That's okay. We have our dogs. Their dogs want to participate too. They're upset. They can't be part of this. But this is what people can do. They can go to shivaforsenate.com/vote and fill this out. But that's what we need. It's something very practical everyone can do. And as Dylan said, the goal here is this campaign offers everyone an opportunity to be part of something historical. And every step of the way, if you notice, we don't let up. We don't say, oh, okay, they cheated from us. Oh my God, the world sucks. No, we move forward. We expose them because we want to destroy the corruption. And what we want to do is to put the preeminence of all of this on working people. It is us people who work who should have political power. We're the ones who should determine our destiny, not them. But let me just end by saying the truth is this. The harsh truth is this. Good doesn't necessarily overcome evil.
Right.
It's not true. It's not like what you read in fairy tales. Good must organize to overcome evil, which means we need to organize ourselves, or evil will overcome good.
That's right.
So that's what this is about. So it's about action. And that's what character is. If you look at any movie or any story, the definition of a character is what action they take. Okay? So you can talk all you want. I'm against the deep state, but if you're sitting on your couch
The remote in your hand.
yeah, and your remote in your hand, and you're just talking and you're just watching how the deep state works, and you're not taking action, that's not character. That means you're a character of sloth. What we need to do, which is what's happening, and what's really profound, is that people are rising up. And this campaign is giving people hope because it's saying it's up to you. Okay?
It's uniting people.
It's uniting people.
It's uniting
exactly.
people with a common cause. Workers, most of our volunteer base, all of them have
All of them.
full-time jobs. Nobody's paid. We're out here and we're doing the work, and so can you. But you have to make that choice. You just have to make that choice and do it.
Exactly. So, as Anu says, you can get involved, you can pledge, you can volunteer, you can donate, and you can get signs. We have 300, 400 sign requests. Every lawn sign is staying up. We have actually more sign requests.
Yeah.
So this campaign is moving forward full steam. And the purpose of today's talk was to say it's the working people must unite beyond black and white, beyond left and right. That's what we want. And this campaign is giving you an incredible opportunity to be part of this. So you can basically help increase your own health, because when you start feeling that you're empowered and there's others around you, you know what it does? It boosts your immune system, literally. Okay. And the second wave is coming. Okay. So start boosting our immune system. Let's build community and boost immunity. Anyway, let me see if there's any other questions coming up. Robin Frost. Oh, Dr. Robin Frost is here. Dr. Frost is a surgeon who just put this up there. Hey, Robin, wherever you are, coming again from Maine to help. She and her two amazing daughters came down. They went to standouts. But this time, what we want everyone to do is, it's really simple. When you volunteer, you want to bring the dogs in?
Yeah.
Let them come. Maybe they want to stay alone. We want people to connect with people one-on-one and get them to pledge to vote. That's what we want to do. We got to destroy these two doofuses, okay? Because the governor of Massachusetts, who, by the way, hates Donald Trump, he says he's a Republican, he executed the election fraud, finding a doofus to lose to this guy called Malarkey. We call him Malarkey, okay? Why? Because they want to force vaccinate. They want to do more school lockdowns. They want to do more business lockdowns. They want to continue to impose carbon tax on us. That's what their goal is. It's a pound of flesh from working people. So anyway, but Dr. Frost really gets this. She's a surgeon, and she took the trip all the way from Maine, 2 hours. Dr. Frost came down. We held one of our big forced vaccination rallies. Next Saturday, we're having a big no forced vaccination rally right in the Cambridge Commons. Okay, right in the Cambridge Commons. So we want thousands of people there, because right there. Because the issue with forced vaccinations is it's not just about vaccines or forced vaccines. The fundamental issue about that, it's a violation of freedom, and it's a violation of truth, and it's a violation of health. Anyway, let me see if there's any other interesting comments here. Teach what exactly to write in. And so Natalie's asking, what do we write in? Well, people need to write in Shiva Ayyadurai. That's it. Because when you see the ballot, let me see if I can bring that up here. Let me show you an example of that. Bring them out. Thanks, Dylan. I'm going to show you what people can actually write in on the ballot shortly. So you can exactly see what the ballot looks like and what you actually put into the ballot. Let me bring this up here. 1 second. There's a beautiful new design that we have. Taking a couple seconds here. While that's coming up, we'll just wait here. So on the back of these cards, we have a card that we're going to be handing out to people. Let me bring this up right here, what the card actually has on it. And the card essentially has on it the front side, which you can see right here. Let me share it right here. So you can see right here, the front part of the card that we'll be handing this out, this card. It says, you know, it's got, who is Dr. Shiva? We're going to change this to write-in campaign. And it says, working people unite, beyond black and white, beyond left and right, truth, freedom, and health. And when we hand out these cards, we're also going to teach people something which I've been sharing: build community, boost immunity, vitamin D3, vitamin C, vitamin A, zinc, and iodine, no forced vaccinations, end election fraud, no lockdowns. The back of the card, as you can see right here, really gives you an idea of how people will fill it in. So Natalie, to your question, this is what people can do. Typically, there'll be lawyer 1, and this is sort of a mock-up, at 1 doofus lane, lawyer 2 at 2 doofus lane. They're both doofuses. So people will fill this oval in, and they'll write in Shiva Ayyadurai, SHIVA, Ayyadurai. We're going to put this out there. Vote for Shiva Ayyadurai. They circle this oval in, and they write in Shiva Ayyadurai. So this is literally what they will do on the ballot. I hope that helps, Natalie, if that helped answer your question. Okay? Exactly. Okay. All right. There we go. Someone just said, Shiva Ayyadurai, got to memorize that spelling as long as my name, Ayyadurai, right? Good. All right. Thank you, everyone.
Like, I adore you.
Yeah.
I adore.
Yeah. Another way to think about it is Ayyadurai is I adore you, but it's Ayyadurai. Okay.
Yeah.
Ayyadurai.
Ayyadurai.
But we'll get this out there. But the cool thing about a write-in campaign is they have to count all of them by hand. They can't do the electronic stuff and manipulate the ballots. Anyway, I hope this has been valuable. Dylan, thank you. Michelle, thank you. And thank you to all of you. This is our movement. We're escalating it. Again, you can do 3 things: pledge, donate, volunteer, and get out lawn signs. Actually, 4 things. So do all of them if you want, but be part of history. And the great thing is you get to meet a lot of awesome people. You get to make all the people here. We have a lot of fun. You get to make great friendships, and you deserve that. You deserve to connect with other humans and be human. Thank you, everyone. Be the light.
Good night.
Let's be human, and let's win this fight. Be well. Dylan, you want to get the Instagram? Thank you, everyone on Instagram. Is there any questions on there that people have? We're good.
No, we're good.
Okay. Thank you, everyone. Be well.